Welcome, deep divers, to a really compelling journey today. Um, Imagine an animation director, okay? Someone who's a master can perfectly orchestrate every single thing, characters, scenes in these imagined worlds,
Right.
yet struggles like profoundly to direct his own life. It's that striking irony, professional precision versus, well, personal chaos that immediately grabbed us. And that's where our deep dive begins.
Yeah.
So we're diving deep into a really personal account shared by one of our listeners. He's an Italian Catholic, interestingly, who finds himself teaching animation, of all things, at a Buddhist temple in Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's grappling with just immense loss and some truly profound philosophical questions, about life, death, karma.
The big ones.
Exactly. Our insights today come directly from his detailed case study, that's what he called it. A personal story he shared with a revered spiritual teacher, known in Thailand as Luang Por. This isn't just a story. It feels raw, an honest journey through despair, then this unexpected flicker of hope and this quest to understand the underlying truths. So our mission today is really to try and extract the powerful, often heartbreaking lessons from this individual's tumultuous life, to explore that interconnectedness of actions and consequences, and maybe see how deep spiritual wisdom can offer some clarity, a path forward, even when life feels completely, utterly out of control.
That opening image you paint, it's so relatable. It immediately brings to mind that human tension, right?
Yeah.
Having mastery in one area, maybe professionally, like you said,
Yeah.
but feeling profoundly adrift in your personal life.
Huh?
His story is such a vivid example of that universal struggle. And it offers us this rare glimpse into the long-term impact of, well, choices and circumstances.
Absolutely. And his early life in Italy, it certainly painted a picture of, seemingly unshakable prosperity. His family owned this thriving Mercedes-Benz bus and truck dealership.
Wow, big time.
Yeah, a major distributor, high-profile clients, politicians, figures from Italian football clubs. I mean, think about that level of success, that sense of establishment. But as we often see, how quickly fortunes can turn. His narrative reveals this abrupt and just devastating downfall, the company's sudden bankruptcy.
Oh, man.
All because of getting tangled up with a corrupt politician. Just like that, his family went from prominent to, well, completely penniless.
That sudden collapse is such a powerful starting point.
Uh-huh.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how one event, the bankruptcy, can trigger such a destructive chain reaction.
Yeah.
His father, who was described before as smart and good-tempered,
Right.
was utterly devastated. He turned to heavy drinking. He just transformed into someone violent and furious. His mother then, she suffered immensely, daily arguments, and she tried to escape her pain through suicide. Not once, but twice.
Serious. Oh.
Sleeping pills and alcohol, the source says. And the teacher in this case study actually highlights how this trajectory underscores a broader social issue.
Mm-hmm.
The profound lack of responsibility from alcohol producers, distributors, promoters for the societal problems their product can cause. Problems like the complete unraveling of this family.
And the tragic end for the mother is just incredibly poignant. She eventually succumbed to the heavy drinking herself, found unconscious in the kitchen, never woke up.
Oh, terrible.
Her death, brought on by intoxication, it just amplified the family's suffering. For our listener, this was a profound, world-shattering loss. He said he loved his mother deeply, and her death made him feel like his entire world had just collapsed. It's hard to even imagine that kind of raw, compounded grief.
Yeah.
So, faced with this just unbearable atmosphere, our listener desperately sought an escape. He initially moved to Milan, trying to build a new life as a fashion photographer.
Trying to get away.
And this is where his grief took a tragically familiar turn. Despite the change of scenery, the profession, the pain persisted. It led him down his own dark path.
Uh-huh.
He, like his parents, turned to drinking and tranquilizers, just hoping to forget. He describes finding temporary relief, a brief break from the sadness, but it always came back.
Always does.
He even mentions dancing at discotheques, like this physical attempt to just outrun his sorrow.
It's such a poignant illustration of that human tendency, isn't it? To seek immediate, often self-destructive coping mechanisms when you're faced with overwhelming grief and maybe a lack of understanding about life's deeper truths.
Yeah.
His actions, sadly, led to really direct and severe consequences. He recounts this one morning after a night of intoxication, driving home from a disco
Right.
at a terrifying 180 kilometers per hour.
Whoa.
crashed violently into an electricity pole, completely wrecked the car. The accident left him with severe injuries, shattered glass embedded in his body, fractures to his spine and pelvis,
Oh,
required over a year of recovery.
a whole year.
That single night of intoxication had this devastating long-term impact on his physical health and, just made his mental anguish even worse.
That kind of catastrophic event piled on top of all the previous loss, it must have felt like the ultimate dead end. It truly makes the next step, this contemplation of a suicide pact with his father. It makes it even more chillingly understandable in a way.
Yeah, highlights the desperation.
Extreme desperation. He and his father came up with what you can only describe as the ultimate escape plan. Travel together country to country until the money ran out.
And then,
Once completely destitute, the plan was to commit suicide together. He did reflect privately, though, that he thought his father might not have truly shared this intention, maybe just agreeing out of this profound hopelessness.
this contemplation of a suicide pact really underscores the depth of their despair, the lack of any perceived alternative. It's a tragic testament to the human condition when stripped of hope and understanding, highlighting how quickly an entire family structure can just disintegrate under pressure.
So their desperate journey eventually brought them to Thailand, which surprisingly offered this glimmer of hope.
A shift.
A real shift. His father, weary from traveling, the weight of his suffering, found himself just deeply captivated by the natural beauty of a southern island. He called it the most beautiful place in the world, and they decided to stay. And it was there that our listener met his future wife, described as a beautiful Thai homemaker who brought this new sense of happiness and a really much-needed feeling of family into their lives.
That's wonderful.
This truly felt like a turning point, a moment of mutual love and sacrifice, actually.
How so?
Well, in this really beautiful agreement, the son asked his father to stop drinking,
Okay.
and in return, the father asked his son to give up his dangerous dirt bike riding.
Quid pro quo for good.
Exactly. And both, he tells us, ceased their harmful habits because of love.
Wow. That moment of reciprocal love and sacrifice is incredibly powerful. It allowed the father to undergo this remarkable transformation, returning to his old, good self, smart, respected, gentlemanly, just like he was in his son's childhood.
Yeah.
So for a time, their family experienced this profound period of happiness. It really highlights how genuine connection and a willingness to change, even for others, can create a space for healing and joy, even in the darkest circumstances.
But sadly, tragedy, it seems, just wasn't done with them. One night, their newfound happiness was just shattered. His father fell ill, diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Oh, no.
Doctors gave him 6 months, maybe. Tragically, he died in just 2, enduring immense suffering. How do you even begin to process that?
Yeah.
When happiness is snatched away again so brutally, so quickly?
It's devastating.
From what we've seen, this seems to have pushed him to the absolute bark, made him feel he'd lost everything all over again.
It's completely understandable. For our listener, this was the final straw. He felt like he had lost everything, nobody left in the world. Just a distant cousin in Germany he hadn't seen in years.
Right.
Overwhelmed, he was once again determined to end his life. And this is where his wife plays a truly critical role.
She stepped in.
She actively intervened, introducing him to what the source calls new knowledge from Buddhist teachings. This was a profound intervention because the core message she conveyed was utterly contrary to his previous beliefs.
What was the message?
That suicide does not lead to reunion with loved ones in heaven. Instead, it leads to repeated suffering in lower realms.
Oh.
This insight caused our listener to hesitate.
Yeah.
It made him reconsider his desperate plan. He'd simply never heard anything like it before.
That's a crucial intervention, offering a starkly different perspective on life and death. But even with this newfound knowledge, his present state of mind, it sounds incredibly challenging still.
Yeah.
He describes being in a state of depression, hopelessness, and anxiety, constantly reliving the past like the bad stuff just happened yesterday.
Suck.
Totally stuck. He continues to rely on smoking and tranquilizers to cope, trapped in this cycle of just temporary forgetfulness. He's made this painful promise to his wife not to harm himself while she's alive, but ominously contemplates it if she were to die first. He feels no hope that good things could happen to him, convinced his life is just destined for misfortune.
Yeah, and this deep sense of hopelessness is a clear indicator, according to the teacher, of unaddressed karmic issues, which the spiritual teacher then meticulously unpacks.
Okay, so this is where the karma explanation comes in.
Exactly. The teacher explains that the family's bankruptcy and all the subsequent suffering weren't random. They were a ripening of past life karma.
A past life.
Yes. In a previous life, his parents were wealthy business owners who engaged in severe wrongdoings, including fraud, and even hiring thugs to eliminate business rivals who stood in their way.
Wow. Serious stuff.
Very serious. His mother was complicit, approving of these ruthless methods. They also engaged in what's called merit mixed with business, so charitable acts, but done more for public image than pure spiritual intention.
Yeah,
The
okay.
teaching here highlights that while acts like that might bring some worldly success, they don't purify karma in the same way. This business merit allowed them initial prosperity in this life.
Right, the dealership.
But the immense bad karma from their dishonest and violent deeds eventually ripened, leading to their abrupt downfall, the bankruptcy, which shattered their lives. It's a powerful way to understand how seemingly random misfortunes can be viewed within this larger framework of cause and effect, even across lifetimes.
It really prompts you to consider how our actions today might ripple into the future.
Precisely.
That's a profound connection. What about the business partner, though? The one who stayed wealthy after the bankruptcy?
Interesting point. The teacher explains that that business partner remained wealthy because his past public charity merit was still strong enough to protect him from the immediate ripening of his own bad deeds from that time.
So merit acts like a buffer.
In a sense, yes. But the teacher clarifies that while he is rich, he is not happy.
Ah, that's a key nuance.
It is. Outward success doesn't always equate to inner well-being.
Right. And what about the destinies of his parents after death? That must have been weighing on him.
Heavily. The teacher reveals that both his father and mother went to Maha Narakum 5, which translates roughly to Great Hell, Pit 5.
Oh, wow. Why?
Primarily due to their habitual drinking in this life, which clouded their minds and led to other negative actions. They are described as currently suffering immensely, being force-fed hot black acid by the Hell Guardians.
That's incredibly graphic.
It is. The teachings are very direct about consequences.
Yeah.
And the dream our listener had of his father, though it might have felt comforting, wasn't actually his father communicating directly from hell.
Okay. So how can he help them?
To truly help them, the teacher advises that the listener must achieve Dhammakaya,
Dhammakaya.
which the teachings describe as cultivating a radiant, pure inner Buddha body through deep meditation and learn Dhammakaya knowledge. Only then can he employ special methods to actually alleviate their suffering.
That's a truly sobering revelation about the consequences. The teachings really don't mince words. And what about his own current circumstances, like his financial situation? He mentioned his assets, property, savings are all in his wife's name.
Right, and this isn't a coincidence either, according to the teaching. It's attributed to his own approving bad karma from that same past life.
How so?
As their son back then, he apparently knew and rejoiced in his parents' dishonest gains. He wasn't directly involved, but he approved. This karma, the teacher says, made any assets held in his own name in this life defective.
Defective, meaning?
Meaning they wouldn't bring him benefit or stability, they might be lost or cause problems. It had to be his wife protecting them, acting as a safeguard due to her own good karma and their strong connection.
Wow, okay. And speaking of his wife, her recurring dreams, the ones about dirty toilets and foul-smelling waste, she has these almost daily.
Yes, and those are also connected, the teacher explains. They're linked to her deep anxiety about protecting his assets, which are now her responsibility, and also the emotional burden she carries from his distress.
So she's absorbing his negativity.
Kind of. The teacher uses the analogy of hot iron in water. When he releases his emotions, his anger, his despair onto her, he might feel a bit cooler,
Right.
but she heats up and internalizes it. And this manifests as these disturbing dreams. Her inherent love for cleanliness also plays a role in how these anxieties surface in her subconscious.
That analogy really makes sense. It's a powerful insight into how emotional burdens can transfer and show up in unexpected ways, even in dreams.
It's also interconnected, isn't it?
Mm.
Every relationship, every circumstance trace back to actions and their consequences.
It really seems that way in this framework.
Precisely. And their strong bond, his connection with his wife, that too has karmic roots. She has apparently been his Kalyanamita,
Right.
a good spiritual friend in many past lives.
We're-
Yeah, always guiding him towards the path of merit, towards the Buddhist community. Often having to work quite tirelessly, the source implies, to keep him on that path.
Wow. And what about their decision not to have children?
The teacher deems that appropriate, given his current karmic circumstances. Their relationship is described as more sibling-like, like merit partners, which is seen as suitable for their current spiritual journey together.
Merit partners. Interesting term.
And his instant faith and respect for the Luangpur, the teacher, the moment he saw him at the temple, that's also explained as a result of shared past merit with the Buddhist community. It wasn't just random admiration.
Okay, so even with all this incredibly heavy karma, this difficult past, the teacher does offer a clear path forward. There is actually hope here.
Absolutely, there is hope.
Yeah.
The teacher affirmed that even though he's Catholic, his current acts of merit-making, things like kathina offerings, the annual robe and supply donations to monks,
Hmm.
or contributing to building Buddhist statues, those are effective. They generate merit, and the amount is proportional to his understanding and his effort. That's incredibly encouraging, regardless of one's background.
That is encouraging. And his job, teaching animation.
Yes, the impact of his profession, teaching animation, is seen as profoundly significant. The teacher explains that if his animation helps others understand karma and how to live rightly, he will gain profound merit. This will lead to wisdom, both in worldly matters and spiritual ones. And crucially, it will help him acquire many wise and good friends to support him on his spiritual journey.
So his work can be part of the solution.
A big part. Furthermore, the power of ordination is emphasized. If he were to ordain as a monk, it would generate significant merit for himself and for his parents. This could actually shorten their time in hell, especially if he's able to achieve Dhammakaya during his monastic life.
So the message is clear. There's a way out of this cycle of despair. It's not hopeless. The final advice from the teacher to our listeners sounds very direct, but also compassionate. He reiterates the critical importance of abandoning suicidal thoughts, reminding him, quite starkly, don't kill yourself, you'll die eventually. When close to death, you'll even be scared to die.
Powerful reminder.
Yeah. Instead of seeking an end, the focus must be on building merit and practicing meditation to achieve Dhammakaya. This, the teacher explains, is the ultimate path to overcome suffering for himself and, crucially, to actually aid his parents.
A path of action, not despair.
Exactly. And what a journey we've taken today, diving into this really remarkable story of human fragility, resilience, and the profound, intricate influence of karma. From those heights of Italian prosperity to the depths of despair, through addiction and loss, to finding that flicker of hope and a deeper understanding of life's complex fabric.
It's quite a narrative.
It really is. This deep dive shows us that even when life feels completely beyond our direction, there might be universal truths, paths to understanding that can help us navigate suffering and find purpose. This individual story is such a powerful reminder that our lives are this tapestry, woven from countless threads, some from this lifetime, some perhaps from beyond. So maybe consider this as you go about your day. If our actions, even those in past lives, truly shape our present and future, what choices are you making today that will sculpt the world you inhabit tomorrow? What new knowledge might be waiting out there to reshape your understanding of your own life's grand design? Until next time, keep exploring.